Welcome back into SportsLine here on News Channel 5 Plus. And for Steve Lehman, I'm Jonathan Hutton. From Vanderbilt basketball now to a former Vanderbilt football coach. Watson Brown stepped down last week, retiring as a college football coach. Spent the last 9 years at Tennessee Tech, where he says over the last 4 seasons he's been trying to prepare that program for the next coach to take over. What's interesting, though, about Coach Brown is he left the door open to possibly being an assistant coach at the NFL level or getting back into athletics in some form down the line for his future. Here's Watson Brown's press conference from Tennessee Tech last week.
Thanks, guys. Been a long time. Long time. 43 years. 43 years. It's a long time. 31 of those as a head coach. 40 of those 43 years as a head coach, athletic director, and offensive coordinator. Only 3 times I've even been a position coach, so there's been some stress involved in these 40 years. I think everybody understands why I'm here. It's time for me to retire from college football, and I will go back and do it again. It's been a blast. I started way too young. I was smart enough to marry one younger than me that didn't know better. Married her when she was 19, and I'm not sure she knew her own last name at that point. And she stuck with me for 42 years, and it's been special. I've had, as a head coach, 3,000 athletes cross my desk. 3,000 athletes. And I've loved every one of them. I've been there for every one of them through this. I can remember after the Austin Peay game, and my first job was head coach at Austin Peay when I was 28 years old. Thank Johnny Miller, who was the athletic director that gave me that shot. My senior year right here, we played the first game at Tennessee Tech when I was a senior in football, when we were declared state champions and went undefeated, and we beat Clarksville High School right here on this field in gosh, Otis and Ralph, 67, Kevin? 1967, and the head coach of that Clarksville High School team was Johnny Miller, who ended up hiring me when I was 28 to Austin Peay. And I've just gone since that time. But after the ball game at Tennessee Tech with Austin Peay this year, when the game ended and we were all headed over to do the alma mater like we do, and shook hands with everybody, and I'm walking that way, and arms grabbed me from behind, and I turn around to see who it is, and he's got an AP cap on, and did not know the face at all till he told me his name, and it was one of my former players at Austin Peay, and he is 60 years old, and I was 65. So I was coaching him when he was 28. I was 28 and he was 23. But it's the first time I've seen him in forever. And for him to come up and give me a big hug and say thank you. But I mean, I've got them out there that I coach that are 60 years old. That tells you how old I am. And I want to thank my mom and dad through all of this. Wow, two wonderful people that taught me right and wrong. My own family, my wife Brenda, who is a special football mom. If you need a lady that's a football lady, she's it. And she's been special. She's had a lot of colors laid around her neck, all kind of colors. We started in purple and gold at East Carolina, and we ended in purple and gold at Tennessee Tech. My daughter Jenny and my son Stephen, special people. I want to thank my brother Mel and his family. I don't think I've ever met, and my brother and I, Mac, both say this, I don't think I've ever met a better person in my life than my brother Mel. Not a better person in my life. I would give anything to have been able to live my life the way he has, and what he's done with his children, and has raised his family, and boy, he's a special man. Thank my brother Mac. Good Lord, I would not want to know the phone calls. Y'all can't imagine. I promise you during the year it was every day or every other day we talked. At every job either one of us was at, of course, Mac beat me out of the business. He was always a little smarter than me. And but we've helped one another being coaches. In this business, it's such a dog-eat-dog world we live in that you can't get close to somebody where you could pass something by them and ask a true question. How do you handle this incident with a kid that got in trouble or whatever? And Mac have always had that. I want to thank my second dad, Coach Bucky Pitts. I talked to he's my high school coach. I talked to him before I came over today, and what a proud man. It's neat to have him so proud of me, but you all can't imagine how proud I am of him. And he's been by my side. If I'm 65, you can imagine how old he is now. And I don't think there's been a better coach that's ever been in Cookeville, Tennessee than Coach Pitts, unless it's a little prejudice with my granddad, unless I would put my granddad there. I want to quickly thank all the coaches and athletes. I said there's 3,000 athletes that I've coached as just a head coach myself. I hadn't had time to count all the coaches. It's been 1,000, I promise you, that we've been together. You got to understand this business, it's family. What I'll miss when I leave after 43 years is the family. The people you go to when you're in trouble, the people you can go hug when things aren't good, the special moments when something goes the way you want it to. Athletes and coaches together with that is a special bond that you can't get in the real world. You just can't get it. I've been so lucky to have that. Let me name some of these athletes. Steve Brewer, Sonny DePhillips, my two quarterbacks at Austin Peay. Steve Brewer has finished a great career as a head coach here in this state at Sevier County High School. Great person. Sonny DePhillips was the most valuable player of the OVC as a quarterback his senior year. Whit Taylor, Norman Jordan, Oliver Matthews, Eric Jones, Boo Mitchell, Vanderbilt kids that, and I'm just picking a few. Great players, great people. Danny McCoyne, Troy Bodine, Alex Gordon, all pro guys at the University of Cincinnati that I coach. Sleepy Robinson, quarterback at Mississippi State. Kel Gundy, quarterback from Oklahoma. Darrell Hackney, Brian Thomas, Eddie Freeman, Roddy White, all pros from UAB. When we're dressing in shifts in locker rooms to have a program because they hadn't got a locker room built yet, and people like this come out of that, play in the NBA. People that were throwing to Stephen in our last year. Now here's two great names for you. Joe Webb, who is now with the Carolina Panthers, is the backup quarterback to the great player they got right there, and Sam Hunt. Does anybody know whose that name is?
Sings a little bit.
Sings a little bit. I had Joe Webb and Sam Hunt in my office every day coaching quarterbacks, and that's pretty neat now. That's pretty neat times. And Joe ended up starting late in the year because Sam got hurt. Sam was a special player at Oklahoma, about beat Oklahoma. We lost 24, I think, 17. And Sam had a great night. Now he's just singing all over the place and making a whole lot of money. Had a lot of great players here. Larry Shipp, John Jackson, Jeffrey Woods, Lee Sweeney, Stephen Brown, Justin Hilliard, Corbin Miles. Both of those two guys have been academic advisors at Tennessee Tech after we coached them and starting their careers. Tim Benford, Trey Lamb, Richmond Tooley, Jordan Johnson, Travis Atkins, Austin Talent, Marty Jones, Taylor Hennigan, Cody Matthews, Trey Goff, Ladarius Van Leer, Dante Gay, Will Johnson, Stephen Bush. What a way to go out. What a class young man, Stephen Bush. You folks don't know what you had when you had that young man in this program. A special kid, and represented Tennessee Tech the right ways. I'd like to thank all of our administrators. I'd like to thank our two presidents, or my two presidents, Dr. Bell and Dr. Odom. Dr. Bell, the neat thing when we won that championship and we walked in the locker room, took him in there with us, and our team handed Dr. Bell that championship trophy in 2011. You're talking about a special time. He'd never gotten one of those before. And they're just about ready to give Dr. Odom another one. It's very close again here. And Dr. Odom's going to get him one. I'd like to thank Mike Sutton. Mike Sutton was sick when I got here. Things were tough on him. Y'all don't know the time he spent with me trying to teach me about Tennessee Tech, coming over to my office. I could call him on the phone immediately, ask him a question about this or that. Here's a guy that's, he had just gotten sick, I think. It hadn't been long at all when I got here. For him to take that time to do that, for me, I'll never forget. It's good to see Mike at the Hall of Fame last week and get to hug him and thank him again. Dr. Susan Elkins, she's the one that took me all over this campus and got me to meet everybody and just took care of me over on campus the best that she could.